Yeah, I have to. There's no freaking audio. It's just me playing music from my orchestration roll, which will be copyright claimed.
Alright, sound off here.
I hate technology. Sometimes it doesn't work the way it's supposed to tend to work. What
Okay,
the
I
hell?
hear myself, and I hear Pop-Tarts.
Should have called him Yakutaro. Famous. Oh my god.
No, I'm pretending I don't.
That's a yes. That's a yes.
And I still don't hear Outrider.
I don't have
That's
you muted.
unfortunate. Oh dear.
The only thing I can think of is you got yourself muted in the party, Outrider. Well, I've just checked in the party. We're all in gray, but Bam said he heard me and himself. Why don't you dip out and dip back in? It's possible that they heard me in the beginning off the.
Mm, everyone can hear you. That's not the issue. It's
Yep.
everyone else.
Bam, bam, bam is the famous. Ouch.
Yet nope, no one hears you. Luckily. No
Oh.
one has to hear that
The
crap.
hell. I can't think of anything else either why it's not picking you up. Because I can hear you. Bam can hear you. And
No, they can hear me because I'm listening to myself.
and from what I understand, he can hear me.
Yeah. I'm wondering. I do notice. I think I have the echo going on my end.
Yeah, but that's not.
My fault. That's me being bad.
But how is that affecting him being heard?
No, it's not. It's just me being stupid.
What's this? Oh, I can do overlays. I didn't even know that. This is an interesting stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's also annoying at the same time. Alright. Well, Bam. Genshin Impact.
You want me to go ahead?
Yep.
Not yourself? All
No,
right.
no, that's how we did it last time. We did Destiny, Genshin Impact, and then Final Fantasy.
Okie dokie. So, 3.7 Genshin Impact. Well, what we can see is that the Sumeru arc is coming to a close. With 3.7, they are actually teasing Fontaine as a location with a small 20-second teaser as random underwater segment, and with the introduction of the character Charlotte, who is a news reporter for whatever news that Mona wrote. I'm forgetting the name of it. So that's happening, and with the introduction of 3.7, we will be getting a renovation to the TCG card event, in which characters from all regions will be grouping up to compete in the Genius Invocation TCG Grand Prix, in which Hoyoverse will be updating the TCG card game, as well as introduce the Ibis Piercer bow, which is a free bow that will be available during 3.7. We'll also be getting reruns of the characters Yoimiya and Yaimiko in the first phase, running with the 4 stars Yoonjin, Chonyun, and Kirara, who is a new 4-star with this update. And then phase 2, we will have Alhaitham and Kazuha. So,
I could
if
try to get
anyone's missing
Alhaitham.
characters for those,
Yep.
most of them are pretty freaking good characters, I'll say.
Kazuha, I don't. Which one's he?
Kazuha is the
Maple
Animo
Leaf
guy.
Samurai.
Yes.
Oh.
He's the one that sets up what is basically referred to as the microwave for his ultimate.
Yeah, I have him. I have him.
And I bet you can hear me now on stream.
Let me check. Yep,
Yep.
I can.
Outrider is not dead, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen.
me and Bam were not going crazy and think that we were talking to our imaginary friend Outrider.
Oh, well, I might as well be. You didn't hear all the wonderful names I was calling Bam, too, so...
Well,
Shame.
Thank goodness.
I think it rhymed with anus.
Thane?
I think it rhymed with silence anyways.
Look at him just go. Anyway, go on.
Anyways, if you have any inclinations as to wanting to get those characters, hopefully you're saving up your Primo Gems and are more successful at pulling them than I was, Shenhe. So, the mini events that we'll be having are the Tour of Wonders, which will simply just be stamp collecting around the regions, 0 Hour Invocation, which will be a TCG PvP, I believe, or it's against just bots. Evermotion Mechanical Painting, which is just a gear mechanics puzzle, and Heart of the Dice, which is a special event that's essentially just a dungeon crawler that you can create. And then there's also going to be an additional event called Feast of the Departed, which is going to be one of those, if you remember the hypostasis events, where you can crank up their difficulty to 12 and then test your might for Primo Gems and other loot, or just clout. Whatever fits your fancy at that point. I believe. Does anyone have any comments on that?
I have to be losing my mind if there's clout in Genshin Impact. At this moment.
There's some prideful motherfuckers in the game.
Yeah, I'm unaware of, like, supposedly throwing around your rep in a gacha game. I mean, that sounds kind of sad in a way, but I'm definitely down for getting the Yokomiya, though. I missed out on her the first time in Alhaitham. So I'll definitely... And I have him saving my Primo Gens for Yamika. I already have Yomiya, my Genki girl, so I'm fine on that one. But then there's also the other Yokai Cat girl. And I was going to ask you about that, because I did, with the little teaser trailer they had showed for Genshin on their channel, the, what's her name from Fontaine, the reporter.
Charlotte?
Yeah, Charlotte. So I was wondering if she was going to be available as a character, but I guess probably not until Fontaine.
No. I mean, you never know. I mean, because they released Kazuha in the Golden Apple Archipelago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before Inazuma was ever a thing, so you're just fishing for seaweed and ranking them up.
Yeah.
At that point.
I mean, considering her design, she's not just a background character.
No.
She's got... No, you're going to be pulling for her soon. I mean, Baiju was, going all the way back to when the beginning of the game, just about.
Yeah.
You looked at him, it's like, we got to be pulling for him soon. Just took this long for him because it was Dendro. And I guess they wanted to introduce Dendro as an element first before they put him in as a pullable character. And I was not lucky about pulling him, but I also kind of heard he's not all that good. But I like collecting, so he does kind of have a sad story, though.
Baiju's mostly just a healer.
Yeah.
In his defense, you're not. He's there more for the utility and the heals than he is for slapping the crap out of whatever opponent you're looking at.
I wasn't overly thrilled with him.
Speaking of Yoimiya, Yoimiya will be having, for those who are interested in the story of Genshin Impact, Yoimiya will be having a part 2 to her character quest. You'll be following her on a journey of traveling across Tevat, because I believe she's trying to expand her horizons in some sort of way.
Is she the first character with a part 2?
No, I believe all the Archons except Venti have a part 2, as far as I'm aware. I want to say a couple others have a part 2, and I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, there's not too many part 2s to a character hangout, and Kave, Alhaitham's roommate, is also getting the quest, but in the form of a hangout event. So
I think they
for the memes.
I think they showed a brief part of that, or that was just something else.
I thought the guy's name was Kevin.
Yeah, he's Kevin. Kevin Levin.
We need to talk about Kevin. Bam probably does not get that. I might be the only one that gets that.
But unless there are other inquiries that you'll have, I believe that covers that.
This is all still pertaining to Sumeru, correct? All this stuff is still part of the Sumeru arc.
Is still Fontaine's not being released, but Sumeru is pretty much over at this point, because the only thing relating to it at this point is the fact that Sino is in the TCG event, which of course he freaking is, and Kave is getting the hangout quest.
They're kind of doing it. I mean, just not saying that they're copying how Final Fantasy did it, but the patches between their major release and then, like, Sumeru got dropped in October, and now you're getting all these patches between before the next big one drops, which will be Fontaine. But they're dropping elements of Fontaine in there to sort of get the notice of, hey, that's a Fontaine character. What's she doing there? Kind of like setting up the next big expansion drop, which would just be the land of Fontaine and everything.
They've kind of done this since day one, though. That's been their things this entire time.
That's how Final Fantasy XIV has been doing it since A Realm Reborn, is they do the base thing like from A Realm Reborn, and then the patches were tying up some loose ends, and then also showing up the next part of it, which will be in Heaven Ward, and then same thing with Heaven Ward and Stormblood and Shardbringers and Endwalker. It's just basically setting up elements of what is going to be coming around story-wise for the next expansion, which I think is a good way of doing it, actually.
Yeah, it's just a nice formula to it. It's expected.
But
it's like other games that have seasonal content that run in a specific pattern that I've talked about for 10 minutes and nobody heard me.
do you want a do-over?
Oh, I'm going to get that do-over, don't worry.
All right. Well, if Bam...
Bam, is there anything else, like, Genshin related? I mean, for me, the only thing that might make me log in at this point is just another chance at failing at getting Kazuha, and that's it. I've been trying to get Kazuha since the second time he's come out, because the first time people were like, no, he's not worth getting.
And then
because who came after Kazuha though? Who came after Kazuha? The CEO of GEO.
Oh,
and
John Lee.
I wanted John Lee, and I did not get him.
Big Daddy John Lee. Rock Daddy.
Yeah, sadly, I guess if Kazuha is all you're looking for, that's kind of all you're gonna get. Although now is, if you are inclined to catch up on Sumeru, now's the time, because it's gonna be 2 or 3 updates left, probably 2, till Fontaine gets released. So, and you have like the 4 or 5 regions of the forest. You have the main part of the desert, and then you have the Dragon Spine-esque part of the desert. Desert has like freaking underground segments to it. So does the forest. If you need those Primo Gems, if you need those world quests done, which some of them are really good, like the one with Jet. They actually have like 3 of those.
All right, so I'm going to say, who's Jet? Because I don't remember that name.
I have no idea.
And the last time I played was just after the release of the area of the desert that had the tornado that you could see.
Okay, so of the quests in Sumeru, you have like the Archon quest, which is like just the main stuff. You'll have a couple of the character quests. If I remember, there's Alhaitham, Dia. I know there's more, and I'm forgetting. You also have the Jet series, which was a world quest that was introduced during the desert updates, where you follow an NPC that is part of the bandits of the desert. Why am I drawing?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
She's one of the she's looks like one of the units that you would normally attack, but you're instead following her and her tribe in some sort of kind of a becoming story, but there's a little more to that. There's a lot of suspicious activity going on within and without the tribe, and it's just up to you to find out what's happening.
Interesting.
Actually, I don't know who you're talking about. I got the characters mixed up.
No, it's Jet. It's just J-E-H-T-T.
I still haven't opened up all the teleporting places, and I finally did some exploring, and I'm hitting all these buildings that don't exist but do exist, because you don't know they exist until you run into them, and they're transparent and shit, and it's kind of annoying. I'm like, I really just, can you just, I know you're making it a challenge, and you have to, because if you didn't, the game would be boring, but I'm like, I just want to do stuff.
Yeah, you also got Tainari's quest, which is kind of interesting. You get the Aranara quest, which sucks complete balls, but you probably should do it.
Oh, you mean the one with the fucking mushroom people?
I
did that one
people, all right, get your facts right.
I did that one when Sumeru first came out. I remember it, and it was nightmarish.
Yes, long and just oh my god.
You also have a quest that is also part of the Jet series, where it actually involves a genie, and
that's not going to have the evil munchkin attached to it.
The what?
The greedy Eevee, the evil greedy lolly.
Sadly, don't worry about the Aranara. They're restricted completely to the forest. Once you're out of the forest, you're free from those terrible, awful.
No, I'm not talking about the mushrooms. I'm talking about the one with the genie power, the 4-star.
Oh, Dory? No.
Dory? Yes.
Her reach is everywhere.
Her reach is everywhere.
Can't say that. Capitalism has spread rampant across to that, so there is no escape from Dory.
Yeah.
She's like Tataru from your Precious game.
Oh.
Except she's a psychopath.
Yeah, well, the only people that fear Tataru and Cryo are is Stitty.
All right, so I know for a fact that I still have major individual quests also that I have to do that I have never done, like the Travelers individual quests. You know, I haven't done that. I don't even think I did the. And I'm drawing a blank on her name. The Dendro Archon's quest.
Nahida.
Yeah.
Nahida's quest after.
She has 2 quests.
Yeah, I have. There's a lot that I didn't do in Genshin because Genshin was just reaching a point of diminishing returns for me.
Indeed.
Even though, like, the major, patch, when they do, like, a major thing, hits very, very well.
Yes.
It seems like the subsequent things for me just start falling off.
They kind of don't catch my attention too much. It's like I was trying to go through what's her name, the spy from Lue.
Yeilong?
Yeah, I'm trying to do Yeilong's thing, and I'm just bored. I'm just like rushing through the stuff, I'm not even reading it. It's like I just want to get it out of my quest log. You know, it's I don't know. It's like I like the game, but at the same time, it can be boring.
Yeah, I just don't dedicate a lot of time to it. In fact, I don't even have it installed on my PS5 right now.
I do the dailies. That's it. I do my dailies, and then if I'm in the mood, I'll maybe do some exploring. But I mean, when I'm off of work, I'm hitting either Destiny on Tuesdays, which I haven't in the last couple of weeks, or I'm just playing. I've been Final Fantasy 14. I'm sorry, I have not run out of shit to do and chase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
but let's
give
the Wayback Machine.
Yep, Wayback Machine. It's an Outrider do-over for Destiny 2.
Yes, for Destiny 2. So Destiny 2's new season, which will hit tomorrow, is Season of the Deep. It's Season 21. Story-wise, it's been a very Destiny way of advertising this that we know very little. And they're going to release the trailer for it, the full trailer, 1 hour before the season goes live tomorrow. From the little bits of marketing that we have seen, we know that Season of the Deep will take us back to Titan, which was one of the planets that was sunset way back before Beyond Light. Deputy Commander Sloan will be back as well. from the promotional artwork. You can see her in it. She's peering out of this gigantic circular window into the depths of the oceans on Titan, which are methane. And she sees our pretty little mermaid guardians floating around. I'm not kidding, folks. When you see the armor on this, they're pretty little mermaids. It's actually very nice looking. It's really, really nice looking, but I did
look like
get a
drowned
good laugh out of
ghosts
it.
to me.
Yeah, well, it's still, they have like these diaphanous fins.
Mm-hmm.
The things are just floating and billowing in water. Well, whatever it is in the ocean. Because allegedly, Titan actually has water on it, but it's so cold it's frozen until it gets to the core, where then it melts and is then liquid water again. I can't tell you anything about the story, because we don't know. From the Witch Queen expansion, we know that there's the enemy of the witness is on Titan. That was from the Two Truths, Two Lies little shenanigans that Sabathun would play with us. And it could be it's something in the water. It's either one of the giant worms that we saw in some of the missions where you're in the arcologies and you can see out, or it was whatever had the fins on it, like the big serpents, like maybe it's a Leviathan, that was cresting the waves on Titan.
Big.
But, you know, there's no way to know until the season actually begins. There is a new dungeon that goes live on Friday at Reset. We do not know the name of that. We do not know the location of where that takes place. This is a common theme with me trying to give any information about the season. Outside of the actual story-related content to the season, the few things that we do know are the following. There's no seasonal pinnacle grind. So the pinnacle cap will be 1810 this season as well. There is going to be a different way to engage with, I want to say, the helm vendor for the season that doesn't have us leveling. It's going to be different. They didn't say how, but there's a difference to it. We're getting multiple exotic armor pieces that are getting altered, buffed, reworked. We're getting multiple exotic weapons that are getting buffed or reworked completely. In my first attempt at this, I mentioned the exotic grenade launcher from Beyond Light. That was Stasis. That was called Salvation's Grip. Essentially, it was functionally useless outside of people trying to break out of the map or push their way through locked doors. It wasn't a very good thing, but it's got a whole rework to it now that actually has made it appealing to me. Another one to look out for is Sweet Business. Sweet Business on every 20th shot is now getting an explosive round, in addition to when it's fully wound up, the explosive rounds come quicker and more frequently. So Sweet Business is getting a buff.
Sounds more like a perk than a buff.
Well, it is. It's a buff in the sense that they're giving it more things it can do. They're changing the weapons, and I'm for it. Graviton Lance, they're redistributing the damage that it does because it's a 2-burst weapon, and they're distributing the damage that the bursts do more like Revision 0 from last season. So that's kind of, interesting. But they're also raising the RPM on it, so it's going to fire faster. There's an assortment of quality of life changes. We're going to have finally the ability to rotate weapons and our ships when we're inspecting them. Yes. We can now turn in 360 degrees, just like our armor pieces now are weapons and our ships. You know, that's just a little quality of life thing. They're changing the reticles for hipfire weapons, so it gives you a little bit better information when you're hip firing. One specific change that I really like is the change to fusion rifles, that when you're looking at the reticle, you're now going to see a charge bar that shows how the fusion rifle is charging, instead of relying solely on the outside appearance of the weapon itself.
Or the audio.
Yeah. So you're going to get some other context clues as to, hey, my gun's doing blank. And I think that's a great idea. So that is what we have right now for Season of the Deep. If you go looking, anybody that's watching the live stream, you can find like a lot of spoilers and leaks and things out there for it.
I haven't personally been seeking anything.
Yeah,
so.
just it.
I did have to look at the picture of Sloane's ass, though. I'm sorry.
That's official marketing. That's not leaked. That's not leaked information.
Oh, I know.
That's official marketing.
But that's as far as I've gone, just so I can see her booty, which everyone is glad is coming back.
Yeah, and Sloane looks like she's potentially taken or something. I'm a little bit shocked that she still looks kind of like she does, when in the lore itself she found like this Golden Age power armor.
Yes.
And
I was going to mention that.
Like, why she should have got like a full like remake, I guess, but time, money, resources.
Yeah, because
when you're on the live service train tracks,
because like according to the lore, didn't that thing like start burrowing like things into her gut and shit?
I think it just applied. It didn't say it inserted. It coiled around her abdomen. That could have very well been like a coolant system. We don't exactly know what it was doing. It wasn't clear enough as to what it did to her.
Excuse me.
But yeah, that's it for Season of the Deep. There is one other thing, but it's a cash shop thingy that, this one I'm actually okay with, and I think it looks cool. Bungie announced another collaboration today on their social media.
Oh,
it is PlayStation cross Bungie. Where the last one they did was with Ubisoft. This one is specifically with PlayStation. It's 3 skins and a ghost shell that you can obviously buy from Eververse. The first skin is a Titan skin that makes you look like Kratos. Well, it's a Titan version of Kratos. The second one is for the hunters, and it's out of the Horizon Zero Dawn / Forbidden West. You have an Aloy-looking hunter. And the third one for the Warlock is from Ghost of Tsushima. So you look like Jin as a Warlock. They're interesting takes on it. I think they're all beautiful. And I'm actually really excited for these. These look fantastic. And the Ghost Shell is the fourth one. And it is a clicker Ghost Shell from The Last of Us.
So basically all of PlayStation's exclusives.
No, they're not. No, they're not exclusive to PlayStation though. All these skins will be available on any console.
Okay.
Any platform. Anybody can purchase these. These are not PlayStation exclusives because if you remember, they said they were no longer doing exclusive.
Yes, that's right.
Stuff. So, that's it for the new.
Well, I'm just saying the skins themselves, aren't those PlayStation exclusive games?
At some point they were, but they are
two of the three are also available on PC. The 2018 God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn are both available on PC. Ghost of Tsushima is not on PC, but I dare say this summer they'll announce it.
Last of Us, I believe, is on PC.
Yeah, that also is there too. So,
but none of them are on the Xbone.
No, but if you have a Windows PC, you're playing
I know
them, so.
you essentially can play it, but if you're just an Xbone console player, you can't play it on the Xbone.
Yeah, the games, no, but you can still get your skins. So.
Yeah, you still get your skins. That's fine.
That's the point. Is the skins are available because money.
Yes.
But they're really awesome looking, and as far as I'm concerned, a far better collaboration than say Ubisoft. And just a hopeful thing for me. No, seriously, fuck Ubisoft.
Yes,
they're screwed up still. But for me, hopefully, if they're doing a PlayStation Cross Destiny thing, I don't see why in the future they can't do Xbox Cross Destiny and have maybe a Gears of War skin, maybe a Fable skin, maybe something from Starfield. You know, there's enough games.
Yeah. But I think one of the other things that got, well, at least partly cut off was our just the fact that you don't like the way that Bungie is not saying what is coming in the new season and is keeping like everyone blind.
No, I'm not a fan of this going in blind stuff, and I'm not a fan of the community rationale of, well, you bought it anyways. It's like, no, I kind of want to know. It's like when I go to a movie, I don't just go to the movie blind. I will see a trailer to see if it's something I want to invest my time with. Regardless that I may have paid for the Mondo Boku season pass that gives me all the seasons for the year, because frankly, since the seasons individually have now gone up in price, starting next season, they were 1,000 silver, and now they're going up to 1,200 silver. I want to know.
I believe that's
what you're offering.
That will cost you.
That goes from 10 to 12 bucks.
Yeah,
and the worst part is you can't buy 1,200 silver.
Nope.
As of right now, you can only get 1,000, which will come with like an extra 100, or the one that they release once a season that gives you a free emote with it, but that's 1,500 silver.
Yes, which I believe is $15 or $20.
And it's like 15.
Yeah, it's, you know, it for me, I'll just say it personally, because I bought the super duper collector's edition of Lightfall, so I basically have all the seasons, so I don't have to pay it. But some people, you know, they just got the basic version of the game, and, you know, they have to pay for every season that comes afterwards. And some people won't buy the next season, and like you said, like you want to know what is being offered, instead of just like, oh, I'll show this 10-second teaser of Sloane looking at an aquarium with ghost mermaid guardians, and that's about it. That's not enough for me to want to buy that if that's all that gets released. I mean, what's the activity? What kind of like guns and armor there? So for like people who like doing transmog, you know, they can like look at stuff like ooh, you know, and they can plot out what they want to do.
Yeah, I don't need to know like if there's a secret mission or anything like that.
No,
I really don't need to know that. What I would like to know is just the basic stuff that everybody's going to be doing if they're playing the season. You know,
they've dropped secret missions in different seasons, and from what I understand, the community really likes it when they drop something that they had no idea was coming.
Well, yes, they do. And the thing was, the reason why Bungie went back to that is because for a while there, on their roadmaps they would put out, they would list, oh, this new exotic weapon goes live on this date. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And that was to let everybody know, oh yeah, there's something coming that date. So it ruined the surprise for everybody, which is true. But at the same time, it's like I don't mind if you're giving me more information regarding the basic stuff that's going to happen that season.
You give me the basic stuff, information, and that's fine. And if you throw a secret in there, hey.
Yeah, keep the secrets off the. Don't talk about the secrets. Hell, you don't even have to tell me anything about any exotic weapon or ships or sparrows or whatever that might be associated with the seasonal story progression. But you can show me the exotic weapon that's coming on your season pass for the season. You can show me the armor and the transmog stuff, as you said, off the season pass. They haven't been doing that lately, so I would like a little bit more to wet my whistle, so to speak, instead of waiting for the day that it launches. It's just I don't care for the how they're doing their marketing on that.
I mean, I know there's a bunch of people I play with who like doing transmog, and after that I've played Final Fantasy 14, where the joke really is the real end game is the glams or transmog. Yes. But there are people who really like doing that. That's what they do when they get in there. That's one of their grinds, one of their daily activities is they'll glam up their characters. And there's some people who do some really fantastic jobs with what Bungie gives you to be able to do. I think their transmog system kind of sucks, but that's just me. But that gives at least an idea of what you're expecting. Give us a little bit more what's on the tin. You can't, like an ingredient list. Like, I'm allergic to onions. I would like to know if this thing has onions in it. Because if it does,
like to know.
I'm not getting it.
But I kind of like to know. It's like, okay, so this is what this seasonal activity is.
Yes, tell me what the seasonal activity is.
If it's something I'm not interested in playing, maybe I'll just put in the bare minimum. If it's something that it really is like, oh, this looks awesome, I might invest more time into it. But
and for those people who play PvP, they can disappoint them again by saying, oh, we're not doing anything with PvP.
Well, see, the thing is with PvP specifically, there is no real seasonal content that you pay for, since now PvP is considered free to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that why it's in such a shitty state?
I can't really talk about that because I don't know what's going on with that. I don't think anybody really knows what's going on with it. That's just all speculation and conjecture at this point. But they have been trying to do stuff, and whether or not the player base likes it is totally on the player base. I personally still don't like that Gambit hasn't been touched since.
I don't even remember.
Since they combined Prime and Basic Gambit together and got rid of 2 maps.
I think my mind is purposely flushed that information out because I felt like Marlon Brando for The Godfather. Look what they did to my boy.
Yeah. It is what it is, unfortunately. I do know that they've kind of retooled a little bit because the season's not going to have a power climb to it. So the very first weekend of the season, Trials of Osiris will be live.
So you after.
And on week 4, Grandmaster Nightfalls go live, but you cannot Guild the Conqueror seal until week 7 starts, which that doesn't make any sense to me. But there's probably a reason that they're not communicating as to why they want to do that. If I was to guess, it was just to keep engagement longer throughout the season.
It's just me, or is it Bungie kind of getting weird?
Any issues I basically have had at this point it seems like they're corporate decisions.
Okay, because I don't want to. I don't want to quite call them evil just yet. I mean, they're nowhere near like EA, Ubisoft, Blizzard levels, but they're getting there. Just some of these.
I don't agree with some of the corporate decision making that's going on. The people that are actually building the content that comes out, I think, are exceptionally talented individuals and really need to be credited more. But stuff like, all right, we were going to make a collaboration with Ubisoft. That's an executive decision. That's not the people that program PvP.
No.
Or do general coding or work on their community, engagement and stuff like that. That's not them. The idea that this game was a live service, that is also a executive decision to do that. And with that comes a very, very rigid schedule and content format, and they're trying with this coming season to shake things up, but we won't see more of a shake-up till Season 22 and Season 23, and then that drops you into the lap of the Final Shape, which is the last expansion in this story saga.
Yeah, the last expansion in the Light and Dark saga, which I'm fine with. That's, especially after, I experienced the Endwalker thing, which, from A Realm Reborn to Endwalker was technically, you just call it the Ascian storyline, and something new is going to happen. So, that's a neat idea. We get to kind of like close the book on, the whole thing about the light versus the darkness, which we've been supposedly, been using dark powers anyway.
I am going to pose a question to both of you, so Bam, you have to wake up at this moment.
No.
Yes. Do you actually think Bungie's going to stick the landing on this ending?
You're talking about
the story.
I do
the Final Shape.
I do think they are more likely to than what they did with Lightfall, because Lightfall,
it's bad.
like the contents of Lightfall, anyways, were not planned in its entirety. Most of what they had for Lightfall was what they put in Witch Queen. And then they said, hold on, executive decision, let's put Strand in Witch Queen since you are reworking light subclasses anyways. Gives you more production time, and it will give you a hopefully good expansion for Lightfall. It questionable at best at the result for that, but Strand is still really freaking good as a result.
My question is, do you think they're going to stick the landing? And I personally feel...
Are you talking story-wise or just everything?
Story-wise.
Story-wise.
Okay. I am
but that's what I
really
mean.
trepidatious about it.
Lightfall was
a glorified Strand tutorial.
What I mean is, it was a pause. It was a hiatus, essentially. It was just a filler.
It was a filler episode.
But it shouldn't have been that way for the penultimate one leading to the finale. It needed to be a banger, and it was not. The season that was associated with it for me, Season of Defiance, with what happened in 6 very short weeks of seasonal story content, was very, very lacking. I didn't play Season of the Seraph the season before because I was just so tired of it. I took an entire season off. And Season of Plunder, which we talked last time, that was the pirate theme one. I was fine with it to about the midpoint, and then how it ended, it was like, you lost me. How did it turn that way? And I don't actually... My fear with Lightfall is as follows. That the expansion itself, the $50 expansion, so if I'm just going off of what Lightfall was. Lightfall was $49.99 US just for the base. The base expansion, Final Shape, My fear is when the raid finishes, you still don't have a clear ending. And then for the rest of the seasons for that year, it's going to fill in everything else.
Yeah.
But when those seasonal content all goes away, you're then left with an unfinished story again. Until the final shape gets, content vaulted.
Well,
I'm kind of leery at this. This expansion, Lightfall, and some of the other seasonal content around it has really kind of threw me back especially for how good some of the stuff was last year. I'm a little bit hesitant to give them their roses on this one.
Well, in my opinion, Lightfall was very fractured. It didn't make sense in some parts. Not just, what the fuck's the veil? No one knows. Not even like
crumble.
Yes,
we're gonna find out allegedly.
Yes, for people who are like, wait, well, what's the veil in Destiny? Why don't you go and watch what's his name? My Name is Bife's rant on that, and he's the fucking top tier lore daddy of the Destiny community. He didn't even fucking know what it was. Going back to your question. Story-wise, are they going to land? Lightfall only lit up when for me engaged me on whenever the witness was on screen. Everything else I could give two shits about. The Skywalkers, or where the fuck they're called, I don't even care.
Cloud Strikers.
Whatever. They're a nothing burger. They're just really a nothing burger in the grand scheme of it all.
The entire thing, story-wise, to me, was a big nothing. There was nothing in there that is memorable except my feelings of being disappointed.
Yeah. Like I said, when the witness was on screen, I paid attention. Because it was set up even prior to that he's coming for the Traveler. Okay, when he actually put a big triangle in the Traveler, and that was great. And then he disappeared, and then we're left with Turbo Rod, or whatever the fuck his name is, Poochie. I'm just calling him Poochie. So Poochie basically is just there, and we do stuff that really just didn't engage me. And I'm like, oh look, Kels is here, but he seems like they wasted him. They brought him back and then they wasted him. He was a waste. I really just didn't get. I just didn't get Lightfall. I really didn't. Story wise, like you said, this is setting up the penultimate thing, and then they dropped the ball.
Yeah. I think Bungie kind of forgot that when you do an expansion, the premise of the expansion is not to drag it out for a year, but you're to tell a completed story within that expansion. That's what you kind of want, is you want a story that actually has a conclusion but pushes your narrative forward still. And they did not do that at all well when it came to Lightfall. I know you were taking, when the witness was on TV, when the witness was on your screen, you're paying attention. I didn't care about any of that. I didn't care about any of it. They gave me no reason to care about anything going on. And I actually have thought about this more. I think it has to deal with the thematic tone they were trying to set for the story they were trying to tell. It was very clear when they said during their Vidoc that Lightfall was a 80s action movie.
It's a really shitty 80s action movie.
Well, 80s action movies were actually kind of shitty. But
No,
you're
but
not
no, there's some
you're
good.
not telling an 80s.
There's some good.
I don't want to get into arguing
Okay.
about 80s action movies being shitty or not. But what I want to say is when you're trying to tell a story about an invading army into a new planet or city and you're trying to repel, you're not telling an 80s action movie. You're telling a war story.
Yes.
And that is a whole different theme to frame your story with. So you now have in an 80s action movie type thing, but I'm actually dealing with a massive army invading a planet. And it didn't gel together. There was a lot that didn't gel together with it.
All the parts they put in there were all disconnected and could not congeal. It's a Frankenstein-y type of expansion.
Part of me was like, maybe they should have delayed this expansion another 6 months. But
I don't think it would have helped.
I don't think it would have hurt, but you're right. They probably couldn't because they got to keep everything on the live service schedule. And again, that's an executive decision.
Because its primary problem was all narrative. That's the reason people say, "Oh, you should just play this game because you just want to get loot and stuff like that." No, the game has to grab you and engage you and make you care about the game. And that's the thing with Destiny. It's always been a story. There's always been characters. Going back to Destiny 1. There's been some times where we bitch and moan that there's nothing to do, but that's a different part of a whole. You know, we used to talk in Destiny 1. There was tons of low points in Destiny 1. But one thing we always would talk about is about the lore and the characters.
I think Destiny 1 took more creative risks when it came to storytelling. Or at least lack of storytelling at points. It just felt riskier and it felt more engaging because of it.
I don't mind them taking risks, but some of the stuff they did just...
No. Risking in the sense that it wasn't necessarily formulaic.
Oh.
Now it's constantly formulaic because of the time frame they have to crunch everything out of.
Yeah.
So we had times in Destiny 1 where there was nothing going on and they could drop something kind of wild on us because they weren't working non-stop to build the next seasonal content.
I might have to put in a new game to continue to stream because it looks like they ratcheted up the maintenance for Final Fantasy XIV to 10 p.m. my time. So, yeah.
I think that'll wrap Destiny then for just in general, so we don't go too far.
Okay. Well, I will be right back. This is a 3-parter stream, so we'll be right back. I'll go to Genshin Impact, and that'll be a first. I've actually never streamed Genshin Impact, so be right back in a couple shakes.